Good morning everybody. Welcome to Shed World and the Metacraft Workshop. What I thought I'd do today is just look at some of the tools and techniques that I use to make some of the smaller stick heads that I find are quite popular with folks these days. So I'm going to set up the camera and I'm going to put it into the hands of my trusty wood elf, Nerdle, so anything may happen. And first of all I'll start talking about some of the tools I use, and then I'll start looking at some of the techniques. So having said that I'm going to be looking at tools, a lot of people say, well, how do you actually go about it? It's not rocket science. You use lots of different chisels, files, these rasps, all of different shapes and sizes, and you just work away at a piece of wood until you get the shape and the form that you want. And it starts off with different knives and chisels, which you just keep working away at wood until you get the form and shape that you want. Once you've done that, and you can get some pretty fine work sorted, here it says he looking for it. That's what happens when you put a wood elf in charge. Once you get down to a shape that you think, right, okay, I now need to make it look more realistic and give it a finish that's going to be attractive. So I use a variety of tools. You've already seen me use one little knife. This is from a company called FlexCut in Kentucky in the United States. They make what I would call a medium price range of tools, but they are exceptionally good steel, and it does hold an edge, and they are razor sharp if you keep them honed. And to hone them up you use just a piece of leather and some honing paste, and it's just a question of keeping them stroked as you would an old cutthroat razor, just to keep a really good edge on them. There seems to be a rule that an hour carving, 20 minutes sharpening is about the right balance. Lots of small chisels and gouges, again all FlexCut tools because they're interchangeable and easy to use. I obviously use much bigger chisels for bigger carvings, but we're really talking about my walking stick heads at the moment. Once you get to a sufficient stage, you then move on to filing. Now this really is quite an aggressive file, very useful for getting the basic shapes going. These are, they look like ancient torture instruments. These are known as rasps, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, and the idea being that you can get round corners. Again, it's all just to produce a rough outline and a rough shape. Once you've done that, you then start moving down through the scale of files to files which are less aggressive and produce a finer finish. They leave less scratches in the wood. The only problem is you've just got to keep them constantly clean. And then the next step down are jeweler files, and you can see maybe in the light there that they sparkle. That's because they're covered in diamond dust. Would be nice if you could put all that dust together into one nice big diamond, and then you could all retire. Very useful then for cleaning up and taking out scratches when you start getting down to fine detail. Then you move on to different qualities of sand, sanding materials, sandpapers, something which surprises people, wire wool, very fine wire wool, very good for polishing and giving up a really fine surface. And some of the more modern synthetic cutting materials. This is a fabric which is easy to keep clean. They're quite expensive. That's a very fine grade for producing a really good smooth finish. So that's just a very brief outline of the sort of tools that I'm going to be using today. I'll just then set up and get Nerdle to help me set up. That's my wood elf, 1,000 years old and still a young lad. He's in charge of the camera, so anything could happen today. So I'll set it up with a little bit of work, and then we'll look at some techniques of using the different sort of tools.